Everybody, welcome back to the 30 Minutes of Fame podcast. Today I'm joined by a fellow Dave from Calgary who I crossed paths with on a post I had put about our episode with Jeb Fink on the Roast and Toast page. And I checked out what he was doing with these daily videos. I'm like, oh man, let's have another chat. So you're my second Dave in a row. It's becoming the Dave show.
I'm all for it, man. Let's go. The Dave Show. That's what's up.
The Dave Show. I'm trying to get Bruce McCullough on here from Kids in the Hall so we can just sing the Daves I know and just do a whole episode of Daves. But that's down the road. But we'll see what happens there. So tell us all about. I notice you do daily videos. I don't know what day you're on now by the time this airs, but when I caught you, I think you're on day 23 maybe. But how did this all start? What's your plan? What's your mission?
Yeah. I think today I'm on day 33. I have a hard time keeping track of it too, even though I do it every day. It's kind of funny that way. But yeah, the way that I started it, honestly, man, it was just kind of a whimsical thought. I had dropped my girlfriend off at work, and I was sitting there just kind of thinking, like, I've wanted to do a social media thing for so long, but I've never been able to stay consistent with it. And honestly, it was just kind of like a boom, a snap, spur of the moment. I'm gonna film a video right now and just say this is my day one of 365 of posting every day. And I just started doing it because to do that kind of thing, it's starting a public accountability log as well, which is something that it's always kind of hard to keep myself accountable. So by doing this, I just kind of did it. And yeah, I mean, the goal ultimately is to be able to inspire and motivate people from all across the world to live a life of recovery and show that it can be done, that there's wins and there's losses and there's victories and there's defeats, but in the end a lot of it comes down to how hard are you willing to fight for yourself, you know?
You know what's cool? What I like about it is, well, I know I drank a lot for almost 30 years. So sometimes my
Mhm.
Facebook memories are like the other day I posted it tonight. I have no clue about till that shit starts coming up. But when you look back, like a couple of years from now at these daily videos, you can look back at some of these. Do you ever just think, hey, I'm going to send the message to myself for a year from now and do one like that for one of the days? Be like, hey, Dave, 365 days from now, this one's for you. And then just look back and see how far you've come.
I haven't actually thought of doing that. I like that idea though. I like that idea because it's kind of like a diary at the same time. So yeah, hey, thank you for that. I'll credit you for the idea on my next video when I do that.
Two Daves make a right. That's what that's.
Yes.
So where did this all come from? Why the desire to inspire people, the recovery thing? What's the root of that?
Yeah. So I was in active addiction for about 7 years. And I lost every semblance of myself. When I was growing up, I had high ambitions. I had a drive that was unstoppable. For what? I don't exactly know, but I always knew that I wanted to make a difference in the world, a positive difference. But I got into drinking and drugs, over time. Just I think because I wanted to be accepted, that was something I'd always kind of struggled with. I think it's the normal thing for everyone to struggle with in a sense, but it just got out of hand. It became at some point, looking back as a badge of honor. Drinking, it's like I would think to myself, well, I've been drunk every day for like a year and a half now. Like, that's awesome. But is it really? It's the insanity, Dave. And I one day things all kind of came crashing down, and my secret was not a secret anymore. My family knew exactly what was going on. I couldn't hide it anymore. And it kind of became, no, it became a choice of life and death, because at that lowest rock bottom point, I never became homeless because of my addiction, but I was at the point where it was imminent. And I knew that the person that I used to be, that was so ambitious and zealous to change the world, was gone. I couldn't look in the mirror anymore. And to come to this crossroads of I need to change things was a big realization. So it took me to detox. My uncle took me to detox. Showed up out of nowhere while I was sitting at my friend's house drinking a Mickey of vodka and a King can of beer, Budweiser. And I was just sitting on the edge of the bed, just contemplating what's next. What's how am I gonna what's next? I don't know. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I just lost my job again, and so I went with him to detox. I just submitted, and from there, it wasn't until like 3 days in that I decided I should go to treatment because everyone else was talking about it, but I was still in this mindset that, I'm in detox. This is fine. This will be the wake up that I need. Right. But I knew actually at some point that it wasn't just a wake up that I need. 5, 6 days isn't going to fix me. So, I figured I've already gotten to this point of being in a detox, right? So where's the guilt or the shame of going into a treatment center now, I guess. So, before that, I never thought I would be someone that needed to go to treatment. I never looked down on people for it, but I just never thought I would wind up there. So I decided to apply to the treatment center that I went to, got through their 49-day program, and then through that process, I found acceptance. I found a community of people who had been going through similar things to me. Everyone's story is way different, but it's all rooted in the same thing, some form of trauma, some form of needing to be accepted. Um, you know, and what amazed me was that people could talk openly about their struggle there and find support and find people that understood them. So I wanted to become part of that. My sister died when I was in program due to the effects of her addiction, I'll say. And that for me, that community there was huge. Without them, I would have gone out. I would have used, and I don't know where I would have ended up. But because of the support I got from the staff, from my brothers there, and just everybody, I was able to continue forward. And I wanted to be a part of that change for other people. So I got a job there, and that was the way that that was the way that I gave back to people because I was showing them I was now a beacon of recovery in that sense where I could say, look, I've got this amount of time. I work here. I used to be in your shoes. And while I'm still in recovery and I'm still an addict, I can exemplify what recovery can look like now. And once I stopped working there, I wanted to find a way to continue to do that. So I kind of settled on social media where the reach could be way further than just the job.
That's insane. You know what, man? Like sometimes after I watch these episodes, I'll look at them a few days later and I don't really care about views and numbers and that thing, but we crossed paths because I shared my episode with Jeb Fink, the comedian and TV guy who just had an incredible story. And then, right, so
Mhm.
you saw my post of that, you left a comment, and then here we are just shooting the shit. And my last guest, Cliff, very similar story to yours, but he had 17 felonies and he was incarcerated.
Yeah.
And when he was inside, he lost his grandmother. He also lost his sister to addiction and his father. So it's like
Jeez.
it's just about reach, right? You never know who's watching, or if there's 10 people that watch, one person reaches out, and then someone could be watching this, going through the same thing. It's about impact, right? And I love it. I think this is my sixth recovery episode in a while. I mean, I've had magicians on here and comedians and a lot of just random stuff, but I love meeting people and just having actual, not really face to face talks. You're in my car, I'm in my house, but still, it's I love it.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the accountability thing, though. I get that huge because when I wanted to lose 100 pounds 5 or 6 years ago, whenever I started, I just went on Twitter and I'm like, I'm gonna lose 100 pounds this year, and I'm gonna donate $1 a pound to my favorite military charity. So that kept me accountable. Days I didn't want to work out, I'd go to the gym because I'd think about the charity it helped.
Mhm.
And then, but it keeps you accountable to yourself, right? Like once you put something online, like all these videos, even if you delete them, they're still there forever,
Yeah.
right? Like nothing's deleted anymore.
No, no, it's not.
So yeah, that's so how long have you been sober now?
I kind of stopped keeping track exactly, but
Yeah.
like the days, I don't know, but I'm coming up on 3 years in February, February 19th next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
I go on
Yeah.
a lot of lives on TikTok, a lot of recovery lives, and I'll see people saying, "Hey," they'll go in and they'll say, "Hey, I'm only sober 4 days." Well, you know what? That's four more days than 4 minutes, even if someone is, you know what I mean? It's people are so hard on themselves, and I get it because I'm always hard on myself.
Yep.
I hate
Yep.
watching back my episodes. I don't like looking at myself.
I hear you. Me too. I watch them when I'm editing and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is painful sometimes.
And then I had a guy, I'm from Newfoundland. Of course, I'm from Newfoundland, so then my accent came right out. I almost had to put subtitles on that episode, but I don't care. They couldn't understand a word I'm saying. But if someone out here is watching this and struggling or going through shit or anything at all, what would you say to them right now? Here's your 60-second video for today.
Oh man, that's you put me on the spot with that one, Dave. Um, I would say, if you're having the thought right now, this is a good time to execute on that because this is going to be a very fleeting thing. And there's so many avenues and support. There's so many avenues of support out there that can help get you from point A to point B. If I was talking to them directly, I would say like, look, man, I was in your shoes. I was, and it started for me with just a thought as well. And what matters is what you do after you have that thought. You need to take the action. Um, I can help you with that kind of thing, getting into detox, getting into treatment, getting a support person, a sponsor, a coach, whatever. As long as you start taking the action, I can meet you halfway, but you have to meet me the other half of the way. There is still hope. I was at a time when I was, had two suicide attempts and I really thought it was over. That was it, man. But I think I'm doing pretty okay now, enough that you're talking to me about my recovery. And that to me just shows that you can do it. But you just have to start with a little bit of faith in yourself. And you need to believe that change is possible, that you can live a life worth living again. Like you can, I promise you. It's just, it's out there. You just need to reach out and grab it, man. That'd be my 60 seconds, I guess,
I
on
love it.
this.
That was perfect. You know, and I had my second guest back when I started this last January was the paramedic that saved my life in 1994. And she said one thing on that episode I'll never forget, and I bring up on every recovery episode, but it's just get through the next. If you're going through anything or you're, thinking about relapsing or grabbing a bottle or grabbing whatever, just think about that next 60 seconds. Start there, then get to that next hour, then get to that next half a day. And then
Hmm.
when that sun comes up the next day, it's a brand new day.
Yeah.
Just get through that and get through those moments. So I stopped tracking time too. I only know because on my 47th birthday was the last time I was intoxicated.
Yeah.
So a
Yeah.
little over 3 years, but I've also had I've also had like 5 beer in the last 3 years. But it was one sitting down with my girlfriend or at a barbecue. And I haven't had any at all in like 8 months or something. But
Hmm.
a lot of people are like, you shouldn't call yourself sober. I'm like, that's my business. I haven't been
100%.
intoxicated. I used to drink to escape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have to. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody.
Absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
whatever works for whatever. But I don't know. It's mixed. People are too worried about impressing other people. I just don't give a shit anymore. Like my my family, my kid, and people I've met on here. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the
I love
people I've
that.
had on here, about 90% out of 63 episodes, I've stayed in contact with. And I got a guy that he's a blind comedian, and I had him on 4 months ago, and he's got these glasses. He did a fundraiser for it. He's got these glasses that's going to give him 90% of his vision. So he gets to see his kids for the first time in 2 weeks. And it's just unreal. I just love all this shit so much.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be really fun from your shoes because you get to meet people with all kinds of stories, whether they're in recovery, whether they're a magician, whether they're like a doctor, whoever. You probably meet so many different people and get so many kind of cool insights from them. just in there in
Biggest thing,
chatting.
and just like so, just looking at you, like you're a, I can say this, a good-looking dude who you wouldn't think has gone through any of this stuff. I had Miss Texas on, okay, a
Yeah,
beauty pageant, who just I can't say too much because my girlfriend's gonna watch this, but she looked like
fair
a
enough.
pageant queen.
Yeah,
But you'd never think looking at her, and she's like, you don't know how many of these pageant women have like drug problems or like addiction or mental health.
yeah.
This girl looks so together, and she ran in the middle of like a highway and tried to take her life, and just it's a big lesson. Like you never just judging people by and the thing that really pisses me off on TikTok and whatever is when people film someone like meth like having a twitching on a sidewalk or like
Oh,
Calgary or on the train. It's like these are fucking humans.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean like people look like you and the Miss America and like you don't know what people are going through and they're all human. So it's kind of disgusting sometimes.
No, I couldn't agree more, man. And it's funny that you say that because, my coworkers would make fun of me when I was working at the treatment center. They'd be like, like when I first met you, Dave, I thought that you were just some kid who probably had 2 beers and his mom decided that you got a problem and you got to go to treatment. And like, fair enough. When I met, the hundreds and hundreds of people that I've met there, whether they're coming into the program or they're just there seeking help, you know, people come from all walks of life, whether they're doctors, they're librarians, they're teachers, they're somebody's parents. Just because you don't look like you're going through something doesn't mean that you aren't. You're so right about that. And yeah, I mean, when I started telling people my story, they're like, "What?" They're like, "That's crazy. I don't know how you escaped looking like a zombie, I guess, for lack of a better term." But yeah, people from all walks. That's why I try and be nice to everyone that I encounter as well too, because you just never know, right? Like something as simple as asking the cashier at 7-Eleven, like, "Hey, how are you today? How's your day?" Or like opening the door for somebody or whatever it is. I think every small act of kindness does go a long way. And in a world where it seems like that kind of thing is starting to fade and people are becoming cruel, it's important. It's really important. And to
Yeah.
your point of filming people that are going through something, whether it's like drug addiction or whatever, I agree. It's like they're people. They're not zoo animals. They shouldn't be put on display for your likes or your views.
Yeah. One thing, man, I had a guest on. He was a wrestler, um, being trained by Seth Rollins, and he said one of the side effects of PTSD is eye contact. It's hard for people with PTSD to make eye contact. And then I thought about it. I looked at myself like when I used to go into a Tim Hortons, I'd look down at the counter when I was giving my order. I could never look anyone direct in the eye. And then after that episode, now every time I go in there, I look them straight in the eye and I say, "Hey, how's your day?"
Nice.
Just that little wake up call from that episode, like it's so different. It's a whole because I don't know, I couldn't look people in the eyes for some reason. It used to give me anxiety, but
Yeah. Yeah.
more. So it's cool. I'm learning everything from every episode.
No doubt, man. I love that. I love that. And eye contact goes a long way too.
So what's your plan when you hit day 366?
Oh, I don't even know. I have no idea. I think that going through this whole challenge right now, I mean, like to be completely honest with you, Dave, I don't really, and this sounds stupid to say, but it's not because this is just what I believe. I don't believe in the hamster wheel of the rat race of being kind of forced into working your whole life to have a little bit of money at the end of like when you're retiring, just to have used a lot of your time when you're like my age and in your late 20s to, like just working for somebody else. Okay, so ideally like this whole thing kind of takes off and it's helpful to me to gain an online presence and I can do this as my job, right? I would love to just do that, because I don't really think that showing up working 9 to 5 at somebody else's place of business is the life for me. You know what I mean? I just really don't want to subscribe to that way of life if I can. So I mean, day 366 comes. I really hope that by then I've established a good amount of presence where I can make a living off of doing what I'm doing, I would love to go and speak like at events and stuff like that. When I was working at the treatment center, we did graduation every Wednesday, and I didn't speak up there a ton of times, maybe 4 times, but I love speaking to people, especially when it comes to like recovery and doing better for yourself and just throwing some inspiration out there. So, I mean, yeah, I don't see myself stopping once day 366 comes. I might have concluded that this part of the series. But at that point, I will see where things are at and I will, I guess, adapt. I think that, it's a lot of work doing this every single day because I got to think about what I need, what I'm going to talk about. The editing process takes a while. And then I get into my own head of whether things are I'm doing things right or like this is the best way to gain traction. And it's just like it weighs more on your mind than what people see is just like filming a 2-minute video and editing. So hopefully from there I'll have something figured out in terms of that, and then I'll be able to refine uh kind of my next steps. I don't know. I guess long way of saying I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Now, are you on TikTok at all? Because there's a huge recovery community on there I'm part of.
I
It's
am, yeah.
so I go into there's a guy, well, a guy and a girl. I've had them both on, Cliff and Mel. They do these lives, and it's not like an AA meeting or anything. They just open up boxes and they just people just talk. And then there's people in the chat that are just watching. But a lot of people trash it. But man, I did a every Sunday for 18 Sundays, I did a live open mic mental health where people would just come in and play songs and just talk. And I don't do them anymore because I don't know, people stop coming. But it's a lot of people talk so negatively. There's a lot of shit on there, but there's a lot of good on there too.
Yeah.
So, do you post your daily videos on there too?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I post on X, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook right now. Sorry, no, X, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, not YouTube.
Okay, yeah. So fire me all the links. If anyone's watching this, want to go check these videos out. If you like, some of my audience might have a short attention span that I don't think they're too long. Um, if you watch five, there's my challenge. Everyone that watched that, go watch five, leave a like, and but yeah, I'll put all your links in the bottom there, and people want to follow you along. I think by the time this episode's coming up, you might be at around day 50 or so.
Right on. Right on. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
I've got uh, I've got one more stupid question for you, and then how I end all my episodes, and then we'll get out of here. But here we go.
Okay. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this, hearing what it is.
All
I've been
right.
waiting.
So a 100-meter pigeon carrying contest. How many pigeons do you think you could fit in your arms and still have in your arms at the 100-meter point?
Oh, man. I don't know. How many pigeons could I fit in my arms and keep at the 100-meter mark? Probably none.
No.
I think I would lose them all, man. I don't know. I feel like that they would start freaking out and I would get scared as well and I would be like, I'm gonna get attacked. I gotta let these guys go.
Okay, well, that's gonna put you in a last place tie with Leslie Horton from Global Calgary. She, she wouldn't touch the question because she has a phobia of pigeons and Canada geese.
Oh,
So,
fair enough. Yeah.
so I think they put you just above her because you just say you try, but you'd have none. So I think you're second last place out of my 62 questions.
You know what? I'll take a participation medal. That's all right.
You know, that question came from Bret Hart. I got to go to a Calgary Hitman game with him, and we were talking for 3 hours. And I'm like, Bret, I'm gonna bet you lunch that I can ask you a question you've never been asked in your 10,000 plus interviews. He's like, you're on. And I asked him that Penja question. It was dead silence for 30 seconds. He's like, shit, I don't know, too. And he's like, what the hell was that? So I'm like, sometimes I have these heavy episodes and just my little stupid icebreaker at the end of every show.
That's fair. I like it. I like it. I was kind of thrown off. I didn't know I can see why he took 30 seconds to answer that question.
Well, if you're curious, the leader was a Arnold Schwarzenegger singer and impersonator who I had on a couple episodes. He said he was going to cover his arms in birdseed, and his answer was 200. So that's going to be hard to top.
200.
200.
Dang. Wow. Okay. Okay. So that's a man who really wants to win.
I think so. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on with me. Thanks for sharing your story. And if anyone's watching this, check out all the good stuff in the description down there, wherever it is. Yep. And give another Dave. Maybe I'll have another Dave on next week. Who knows? It could just be the Dave show.
Let's do it.
Let's
I
do it.
love that. Hey, I fully support that.
Some of
Dave,
us
thank
are
you so
Davids.
much. What's
Some
that?
of us are Davids. Most of us are Daves.
That's right. That's
Just like
right.
kids in the hall song. Hey man, I appreciate you coming on with me. If you're out there going through any shit, just reach out to somebody. My DMs are always open. You can find me anywhere. Just leave a comment and yeah, stay strong.
Dave, thank you so much for having me, man. It was a real pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much.